Yes, this is a period. Yes, it's period. This is a time when we get to talk serious business. A year of the responsible woman, and the responsible woman knows how to take care of herself. Today, we are going to talk about how to own your vagina as a woman, and indeed as a young woman. Don't cringe. We're just too happy being hypocrites. Okay, to make it simple for you, own your own V, young lady. But simply put, own your vagina, young lady. You should decide when and how to use that precious gift that God has given you called vagina. My name is Gifty, Auntie. Welcome to the Standpoint. The studio is as quiet as if, they pour some ice blocks on them. The young ladies, they are all pretending. I see they don't know what I'm talking about. But we'll have real hard talk today. Welcome to the Standpoint, and thank you to GTP for my Clothophilia Crossland Design Stores for me. Power Cosmetics gives me the makeup product, and Aligina Makeover takes care of making sure she applies the makeup correctly. MHC Matilda Hood Couture will takes care of my accessories. So that's my BD needs, my Hinima, and all the others. And we'll take a short break. When we come back, young lady, you need to own your vagina. We'll be back.
When it comes to your family, turn to the anti-malarial you can trust, Mala2. Mala2 is a highly effective artemether-lumefantrine anti-malarial available in syrup and tablets, specially formulated for children and adults. Keep the whole family healthy with Mala2.
There is this new generator set we would like to introduce to you in this era of power outages.
I hope this time around you're going to give us something better.
Yes. Let's go out and have a test run.
Hey, you call this box a generator? Get a quality one from Anointed Electrical Engineering Services.
Come to Anointed Electrical Engineering Services for a permanent solution to your power problems. We do 24/7 after-sales service, sales of spare parts for all generators and cables, and we repair all generators even if you didn't buy from us. Locate our head office at number 77 Anointed House off of Dokomala Main Road. Anointed, the generator experts.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. Well, if you just joined us, this is the Standpoint, and I'd like to say thank you to Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the generator experts. Thank you to
Mala2
and Auntie Mary Gripe Water, produced by NS Chemists. They are our sponsors, and we are indeed grateful. This program is also aired on ABN TV on Sky Channel 235, which is across Western Europe, parts of Canada and Asia, and of course North Africa as well. Our website, www.thestandpoint.com.gh, is powered by Dream Oval, and it's a link to the YouTube. Anytime you visit our website, you can get to review all the programs that we've had over the years. Today we are talking about how you can own your vagina as a young lady. Very important talk. Basically, how you decide. But hey, I'm not the expert. I have the experts in here with me in the studio, and I'm going to introduce them. Seated right opposite me, as a woman we affectionately call Auntie Edith. Good to have you on the Standpoint today. She is Mrs. Edith Asare-Mensah, public health expert, reproductive and child health, LECMA Health Directorate. Good to have you on the Standpoint again.
Good to see you once again.
Okay, next to her, I have Mr. Selami Kofi Zuma. Is a senior advisor at IPAS Ghana, health practitioner and a reproductive health advocate, and also a counselor. Good to have you on the Standpoint.
Thank you.
Finally.
Gifty. Finally.
Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Good, good, good. And next to her is my little baby sister, Angela Darko Pare. She's a volunteer at the ARC Foundation, Ghana, and we go way back on the standpoint as well. Yeah. Do you think the young ladies of today own their vagina? I mean, our parents and even my generation, we didn't own it. Your generation, do you own your virginity, your vagina?
To some extent, I would say yes, because now a lot of things have changed. So we read more and we try to learn more about our bodies. But then I think we actually getting into the generation and the age where parents and everyone else in the society needs to stop acting as a hypocrite and come out clear to help young women to actually understand their bodies more. A lot of parents today try and behave as though their children are not supposed to be corrupted with views about the vagina. But it would interest you to know that when in your absence, or if you should just stand away and listen to these young people talk, the kind of things they say, it would just amaze you. I have an adopted little girl. She's 11 years old. So one of the days I picked up a conversation with her and I asked her, do you know what sex is? Mommy, I know. So what is sex? And she just defined sex, how the men zip down, how they do the thing, how they do that. I was like, 11.
Yeah.
You can actually tell me what sex really is. So, I mean, we are evolving. We are getting to an age where there are so many resources you can refer to, you can read more, and then you unfortunately sometimes have your peers also read their own stuff and then they try to educate you. Right. So I think now young ladies are actually owning their bodies more, and then they are getting to understand their vaginas.
You know, Salam, basically, when I sent you the message, I said, basically this program is to let young ladies decide or know that they have the right to decide when to break their virginity, who to allow to break their virginity, who they allow to, sleep with them, have sex with them, and what kind of disease they want to attract to themselves.
Yeah. I think that's where the issue lies. What kind of disease you want to attract to yourself? First of all, let's look at the vagina as the life you live. How do you protect that life that you live? Because the vagina is part of you. If you cherish your life,
actually, the vagina, when it now is ready, it's your beginning and the end. That is how you entered into your mother's womb, and that is how you came out.
So it's part of you. And so if it's part of you, then it is just like the life you live. And so the question is, if you cherish that life that you live, how do you want to live it further? I guess you would want to protect it, you want to cherish it, you want to preserve it. So if you can relate to the vagina that way, determining and understanding who you are, where you are, and where you want to go.
Yeah. Because
then you will know how to use your
vagina is owning your life.
That's it.
Owning your life.
That's the life you live. And so if you just decide that this is the way I want to live my life, you would attract anything to yourself. But like the question you asked and my sister responded earlier, it is just the minority of women who really understand the beauty of the vagina and how important that is in determining who they are.
Right.
I say that because if you look at the issues of teenage pregnancy, if you really truly own your vagina,
right,
we wouldn't be talking about teenage pregnancy.
Right.
We wouldn't be talking about HIV/AIDS. and we wouldn't be talking about unsafe abortion, which is taking a number of lives. And so there's a huge majority out there who probably do not understand how precious the vagina is and why the need to be the one in charge.
Yeah. You know, in my days, Auntie, I mean, some didn't have much of a choice. You know, some were forced into it, some were naive. But now that is supposed to be the millennium age, the global age, some girls are breaking their virginity due to very stupid reasons. My friend is going to break her virginity, so she asked me to break my virginity as well. A boy, the guys had said, if I love him, I should sleep with him. And so I broke my virginity. What are we doing wrong?
I think, and I must say that, like the two people talk about the fact that your vagina is your life and it must be appreciated. But first of all, looking at what the vagina is, do we really know what our vagina is and the role it plays? Remember, the vagina itself is a muscular organ and it's a hollow one. Remember, once it's a muscle, it expands and it contracts. And once you are using it, remember, it will become last. One day, when you find the right person to marry you, he marries you. He goes in 1, 2. He tells you you are too last. And then you go looking for an expert, a psychologist, a clinician to advise you on what to do. I've had quite a number of cases.
And some tend to buying, concoctions to tighten it.
To tighten, insert, and all those things. And then remember the repercussions. You're likely to contract infections, and it goes up, infecting your cervix, which can go into your uterus, get to your fallopian tubes, coming up with growths like cysts and all those things. And the complications there. And then you might realize that at a point in time, you might not be able to make babies. And you tend blaming your mommy and the old lady in your house. So it's important that as youth, we must appreciate our vagina, that it has a role to play. But remember also that for the vagina, it's there for you to procreate. As a woman, when going to give birth, if per chance your baby has to come with the head, then it must go through the vagina. It's there for you to menstruate through, and it's there for you to have sex. But is it right at this time to misuse it? That is what you must know. If you visit the facility, some of the care providers will have time to talk to you. And at times you might have a parent who is so caring and concerned and knows about what the vagina is itself. Because we have some parents who themselves broke theirs early for 1 or 2 reasons. One of them is the economic reasons, where they didn't have money and all those things. So they did it.
Yeah, Doctor, hold on there for me, because I want to come to Selami about it. Do you think young ladies of today have a choice in terms of how or when they break their virginity?
I think they have a choice. But of course, I'll look at this from 2 angles. The first angle is where you determine how you use your vagina. If truly you know who you are. I think quite a number of our young girls or ladies have a mistaken identity. They don't know who they are. And so they want to be like anybody else. And because you want to be like somebody else, you want to do what that person is doing. I do understand that we have a lot of pressure out there. Either the obvious pressure where when all your friends are sharing their experiences and you say, I have never had that experience, and they go like, huh? You mean you're a virgin? Then you have the underhanded pressure where they make you feel like you are so weird. There's something wrong with you. You are not normal. Those pressures are there. And then you have the controlling one where your guy says, if you love me, show me your love. If you won't, because for many of them, a sexless relationship is bound to break. And so for them, the determination of love is about sex. And so that's a controlling pressure. But if you know who you are, and where you are going, no matter the pressures, you will maintain that identity that you have. It also comes with self-esteem. If you believe in yourself positively, you will stand your ground no matter the pressure. But the important thing is, you see, a lot of these things will come back and haunt you someday. Because your first sexual experience ought to be a memorable one. It should be something you cherish.
Why are you smiling?
It should be something
Angela, why are you smiling?
you are so proud of, to the extent that even if you do not end up marrying that young man, you will never regret ever giving yourself to that person, because it is somebody you cherish and respect. But if you don't, and it was just anyhow, when you go into the actual relationship, it comes back to play in that relationship.
Let me take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to talk more about this, because this is quite deep. Auntie Edith go, she deals with young people all the time, and she hears things and has seen things. Well, we'd like to say thank you to our supporters. That is Gogot Yogurt, Pilco Fruit Juices, and Awake Mineral Water, Purified Mineral Water, is by Casapreco Company Limited. Well, let me take a break. When we come back, we'll get talking. Welcome back to the Standpoint. This program is also supported by Yep Cleaning Services, Mark Catering Services, Cake Technique, and House of Foods. Now, MAC, Matilda Hood-Kutu, takes care of my BD needs, including my enema. They take care of this centerpiece and then coffee table, all made from pure solid wood. And the pot is by Matamis. Angela, how does one get to own her vagina? What will it take?
It will actually take everything of yours to own it. Especially with the dimension we are having this discussion. I want to pick a point from what Selam was saying. He spoke about controlling reasons and all of that. To some extent, I think for the young ladies who are under pressure to break their virginities by their boyfriends, young ladies who are under pressure of some sort because among their peers they are still virgins, I think that one isn't pressure enough. I think so. But for the young lady who perhaps needs to give in to sex for a job, that is real pressure. For the first category of people, you really do have a choice. For the second category of people, it takes everything to be able to own it. Sometimes, realistically, it goes beyond self-esteem. Because even with the issue of self-esteem, you need that job to sometimes...
to maintain that self-esteem.
Exactly. Because I mean, we all finished school in 2010, we all finished school in 2011. Everybody has a job. I don't have a job. And there is this person that is asking and pressurizing me to give in so that he gives me a very renowned job. Sometimes they're under very much pressure to go in for it. And I always look at it in this way. I am under pressure to give sex to a boss to get a job. I don't want to do that. But then I'm sleeping with Kwejo. I'm sleeping with Kofi. I'm sleeping with Kweku. And they're giving me they're giving me 20 cedis, 50 cedis, 100 cedis. I mean, weigh the two. So then, in the end, it's got to do with your own principles. What do you believe in? What are your real convictions? So to actually own your body, it takes everything. It takes what you believe in. It takes your principles. It takes your religious ethics and everything. You know, I feel sometimes young ladies are brusque with decisions. What we need to start learning to do is to sit down and deeply analyze things. A lot of times when you sit down on your own and you analyze a situation, when you come out there, no matter what people say, you won't flow with the crowd or the masses. Because you know you have done a deep analysis of the situation, you really know where you're going. So when it is you really understanding you and then knowing the situation you are in, what you believe in, your ethics, your principles, your convictions, then you can really own your vagina. So I think.
Do you think, Auntie Edith, young ladies of today, in fact, women in general, not just young, women understand these things because there are women who are married and allowing their husbands to misuse their vagina?
Yeah, I think most women, I must say, are ignorant of their vagina, what it is and what it stands for. Because basically, for me, anytime I have to meet with a youth or any other woman, I look at the medical aspect of it. Because if you should damage your vagina now, the repercussions, I always talk about these things. And Selom talk about the fact that you're going to incur some diseases. It's true. Some conditions like sexually transmitted infections, some are chronic, some become chronic, and then some are incurable. For instance, if you're a lady that you should get infected with any of these STIs, especially those which are viral in nature, they stay in your blood, they never go away, they keep recurring, and at a point in time, it can affect your fertility. At a point in time when you are ready to, you start having your fertility intentions, and that is where the issues are. So for me, I want to say here that as women and as young ladies, you must know what you stand for and what your vagina is. Think about the future. There's another issue of the vagina being used, especially now young ladies are going in for unprotected sex with the issue of using the emergency contraceptive issue.
Yes, yeah.
And my worry now is if we should follow these young ladies into the future, these cohorts group who are using this emergency contraceptive, follow them into the future, what will be their fertility outcome? And this is something we need to think about. You walk into the pharmacy or the chemical shop, go for your cytotech, but have you talked about the effect on you? So I think it's something we need to. Most people are ignorant, they go in for it. When I have the opportunity to meet them,
they will tell you that, there are no side effects. Oh, the side effects are minimal.
Yeah. They affect your cycle. And some at a point may not be able to contain the pregnancy. Please, the guys that dropping their semen in and leave you. You go taking it out as an abortion. But think about your future. Because for us as a nation or as a society, we cherish children in our culture. And you go into relationship, children are not coming. For one or two medical reasons, you might not have. But for one obvious reason, where you have engaged in something you shouldn't have engaged in, it's having effect on you.
Right.
So my young ladies, let's look at it.
When did sex become so fashionable, Selom?
Well,
when did having sex become so fashionable?
You know, I think we live in a very, let me say, highly sex-obsessed society. And
Yet we don't want to talk about it.
That's the unfortunate thing. And I say so because today we are talking about social media. We're talking about the TV. You switch on your television set, the soap operas, somebody's kissing, somebody's doing something else. You go on the internet, it's something. So you have all of this surrounding us. And because nobody is talking to us, and we are talking to ourselves, we feel it is okay. Again, I'll go back to the issue. It is true that everybody could be doing it, but somebody ought to be different.
Yeah.
And that person ought to be you. That even though everybody is going this way, I don't believe in following the crowd. You need to have your own identity. And so no matter the environment, I agree that we are talking about practical issues. People need to have a living. But listen, no condition is permanent. One day, the job will come. That job that you are crying for, you'll be the same person who will be complaining, I am tired. It is just a matter of time. It is the ability to wait for that time to come that would push you to think that that's the thing. And so the demands will come, but you ought to be different. And you can only be different if you know who you are. The issue is about being ready. We are not saying that you're human. The hormones are ripe. At this stage, they are wild. They are chasing you. Your friends are saying it. You want to experience it. So
prove that you are sexy.
So we can't run away from that. But it will take that individual who believes in herself, who knows who she is, and where she's heading, whatever the past is or was, sometime in your life, it comes across you. Sometimes I sit back as a young man, and you engage in a sexual activity and you go out and you're like, so what's the meaning of this? Why did I do this? So it haunts you. I mean, it will come back at you. Right. And you don't want to live a life where you are continuously kind of questioning your own life.
Yeah. Let me take another break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. My name is Ohineye Gifty Auntie, and this program is sponsored by Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the generator experts, Nescofa Black Tonic, and Auntie Mary Gripe Water, produced by Ernest Chemist. Thank you to GTP for my clothes. 50 years of styling the nation. 50 years still timeless. GTP any day, anytime. You can get it and you're rolling and you can rock it. Thank you to Ophelia Crossline Design for sewing it for me. Makeup products by Haba Cosmetics and applied by Aligina Makeover. My accessories by Matilda Hood Couture. We'll be back.
Hush, my little baby.
For babies' tummy pains, minor digestive upsets, or teething, caring mothers everywhere use Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture. It's quick, effective, and sure to leave babies smiling again in no time. Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture from Ernest Chemist, because everyone needs a chemist.
When it comes to your family, turn to the anti-malarial you can trust. Mala 2. Mala 2 is a highly effective artemether lumefantrine anti-malarial available in syrup and tablets, specially formulated for children and adults. Keep the whole family healthy with Mala 2.
To the standpoint. All right, Angela. Quite recently, I heard, I think Ministry of Health make a statement that, abortion rates. No, it said what? Teenage pregnancy is going down. They mentioned somewhere in the central region, because for a very long time, I think both of them know, central region was leading in teenage pregnancy, and said, oh, the rate has dropped. And my question was, has it dropped because they are not having sex, they are not having unprotected sex, or it's because they are having abortions?
I actually, this is weighty. Yeah, very. I think I actually have my parents living in Mankasim.
Right.
So for a large extent and to a dimension, I can actually say that I think now the abortions are rather on the increase. That's what I think. Ladies are still getting pregnant. And I really think that is what IPAS, I have actually worked on so many projects with IPAS, so I know IPAS so well. And a lot of other health organizations and services are trying to educate people on. Okay, so the first thing is don't have sex. Try and be pure. Then you come and say you can't be pure. You want to have sex. Okay, so you want to have sex. Protect yourself. That is the ultimate. I mean, that is very important. Talking about owning your vagina today, as a young lady, I'm speaking from a young lady's dimension, you really need to be careful about what you allow somebody put into your vagina. I mean, I have come across some young ladies who even got pregnant and did not want to have the abortion. But then interestingly, her boyfriend pushed 4 tablets of Cytotec into her vagina. Yeah. And to her, she didn't allow, as in, she didn't want that happening. But then in the end, it happened and the baby was terminated. For mommy, I think mommy mentioned Cytotec, so she knows how Cytotec is used.
She's a public health nurse.
And I hope I can go ahead and then talk about Cytotec.
Yeah.
She actually told me they take 4 tablets, so you could decide to drink 1 and then insert 3, or drink 2 and insert 2. I mean, it's your own formula. Yeah. And then she didn't want to drink it. She didn't want to do the insertion. And this bra was dying her. And they ended up in his bed again. And he actually had sex with her. And before she could say Jack, he had put it there. And it had gone so deep she couldn't get it out. So, I mean, we have to be very conscious of our bodies. Be very conscious of what you're allowing people take down there. Let's say you're even going out with a guy. You said you don't want to be pure. You want to have sex. He's about to have sex with you. He wants to finger you at all costs. Is that what you want? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves. We don't just have to allow anything down there. He wants to give you oral sex. Does he have pepper in his mouth? Or his mouth is actually clean? Because you and I know that if pepper is introduced there, the irritation we will feel. He wants to finger you. Are his nails clean? These are all things we need to be very conscious about. Yeah. So, because it's our body. I mean,
look at them giggling.
It's our body.
You don't know what is fingering. You do.
It's our body. And like we established right from the very beginning of the conversation, your vagina is your life. It's you. I mean, if I should right now come and jab you on the nose, you will not be happy with me. So then why must you sit back and allow somebody to mutilate your vagina? So, well, to go back to the question, I actually really think it's the abortions. And then the question would be, are they doing the abortions right?
That will get back to that. But yeah. Auntie, it is,
in response to the question you put to her, either they are taking in the family planning, accepting to do the family planning, because as part of the MDG sustainability. We're looking at promoting family planning, making the commodities available to them in the community so that they can have access. And also, I must say that currently it's taking a different dimension. Now we're having a lot of same-sex relationship because, yes, it's now on the increase because they are running away from pregnancy. As a result, they are going into same-sex relationship. They are having their female or same-sex relationship where the female is having sex with her. They share the same-sex toys, penetrate with the penis model, and then they have the orgasm. But remember, as you share these same-sex toys, if one has an infection, she's likely to pass it on to you. Because I've had two same-sex who come with infection. Where did they get it from? The probability that one have the infection and pass it on. It's all about the same thing you could do with a male, where they put their fingers in there. Apart from the fingers, they go in with their tongue and then penetrate with the penis for you to have an orgasm. So once you have an orgasm, the body fluid pours on it, your vaginal fluid, and then you pass it on to your partner. She does it. She's taking on in your infection. So it's becoming a little worrying now because we're having quite a lot of them going into the same-sex relationship. And it's something we need to look at. Some doing it ignorantly and some doing it knowingly. So it's something, Gifty, we need to look at it.
For me, the most important thing is making sure that you take control of your life.
Exactly.
You know, I have a friend in a UK, and when I used to host the radio program, I used to end with it. I mean, Yakumi, and she always says, listen, I've got your back. What you do with your front is up to you.
Yeah.
Because we can give you the information.
Exactly.
So, Salo, are girls naive, ignorant, or they're plain stupid or foolish?
It's a difficult one.
Because the kind of abortion, even in tertiary institutions. On this very program, one lady talking about tertiary institution, university, where a guy tells a girl that if you love me, let's have a threesome. Bring your friend, let's have sex to prove that you love me. Yeah. Let's have anal sex. He's not married to you, he's having anal sex. When he marries you, what will you? You will somersault, you hang with your legs up.
You know, the issue of abortions, because of the sensitivity around it, the documentation is difficult. The evidence out there is difficult. But what we do know, at least from the basic literature we have, is deaths among women attributable to unsafe abortion is about 15%, 15 to 30% based on which data you are looking at. What is worrying now is it would amaze you to learn that I have a friend who runs a pharmacy at the University of Ghana. And he keeps telling me that one of the hottest of the commodities in his shop is emergency contraceptive. So whether they are pregnant or not, they assume they may be right or wrong, they go in for it. Now, what that means that if really those sexual engagements are supposed to be resulting in pregnancy, then they are being curtailed at that stage where the emergency contraception is applied. So we may not be able, so we can't say they are not having sex. The second thing, perhaps, if we are saying that unsafe abortion is going down, which we do not have the evidence to support at the moment, will be the fact that there is a lot of education going on comprehensive abortion care, which also includes access to safe abortion services.
Right.
And so instead of people probably going to the back streets, they are now going to the right sources and assessing the right service. And that could be the only reason why we may not be, because if you speak to the clinicians, they tell you that today, the kind of things they used to see in the hospital, where people come with broken sticks, with their, I mean, all kinds of things, it's gone down. They are not seeing those things. And so it could be that they are visiting the facilities and accessing the right service. But still, there are a huge number out there. And
now, Selon, hold on to that. This discussion definitely needs a part 2, because there are lots of things we need to talk about. We so far focusing on the young ladies who are not married, but we need to talk about married women too, who allow their virginities, in fact, their vaginas, to be misused. We'll take a break here. When we come back, I'll give you a bit of me, but next week, definitely we are continuing this discussion. You see, the conversation hasn't ended yet. We'll continue definitely next week. But many of us will tell you that we look back to how we broke our virginity, especially who we broke it with, and we have so many regrets. You look back and like, damn, I wish. Sometimes you look back too, you get to a certain position, you work so hard, you improve upon yourself, you become this confident person, earning your own money, and then you sit back and you look around and say, God, did I really sleep with this one? What happened? It is not our aim to make you feel bad as if we are angels or perfect. No. It is to make you understand that, yes, we have made some mistakes. And thank God that maybe we are still here and walking around healthy. But I can tell you there's some also walking around who are not healthy at all, but look all right. They're still looking perfect going around, but carrying along with them HIV. Some contracted HIV with the very first encounter, the day they broke their virginity. Yes, I know someone like that. So it's up to you. You decide how to use your vagina, who to break your virginity with, where to do it, so that in future you will not have regrets. Even if you don't marry him or her, you still know that, well, at least it was with a better human being. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week, and we'll continue with this discussion.